How do you build wealth in real estate? Hey, friends. Great question, first of all. So, this is something I just talked about in my investor summit, which, if you missed, I'm sorry. We'll have some more summits coming up, so stay tuned. But I got a lot of great feedback specifically about this topic and a lot of good questions, so I thought I would share it with everyone. So, how do you make money as a real estate investor? So there's two primary ways you make money as a real estate investor. The first is cash flow. The second is building equity in the property. Now the cash flow, you build that in two ways. One is the cash that's left over after you've paid all your expenses. So your rents minus all your expenses, mortgage, taxes, heat and hydro, all that kind of stuff. And then the other one is paying down your mortgage. Okay, so that's the two ways you earn money from cash flow. The two ways you build money from equity, one is you develop the property and increase the value. And the second is the property just appreciates with market appreciation. So, hope that's kind of interesting. Now I want to show you this graph. It might be small. I can share it with you if you need to see a bigger one. The interesting thing is the first three ways of making money, so cash flow, paying down your mortgage, and building equity through property development, those are all fairly predictable. I can tell you, what your rents are going to be, approximately how much your expenses are going to be, and if you develop the property, I can tell you what it's going to be worth at the end, and you probably know how much the renos are going to be, plus or minus. And there's a plane flying overhead. Thank you, plane. So we the North plane, so I can't be too upset. King of the North, it says. Yeah, Raptors. Okay, so the last one, market appreciation, is kind of an unknown, right? And a lot of people will say they can tell you what's happened in the past. So market appreciation's been 9 or 10% in this city over the last 10 years. That's compound annual growth rate. That's huge. The TSX has been 4.5%. No one knows if that's going to continue. I mean, I think the market is still going to appreciate, mainly because we're going to be undersupplied by 15,000 units a year. But it's kind of beside the point. And let me explain. Well, it isn't, but it is. Let me explain. So I was actually a cash flow investor. So I primarily got into real estate because the cash flows were good. I can do the math on those things, the property appreciation through development, the earnings, and paying down your mortgage. But it turns out the way I actually built a lot of wealth was through the market appreciation. So if you look at this graph, the blue line, the blue bars, is actually market appreciation, and it gets huge over time. And in this case, I only used 6% in this example, just trying to be a little conservative. The 30-year CAGR for Canadian real estate is 5.5%. So I used 6% for this one. And then cash flow is actually the yellow one, pretty small. The mortgage down payment is actually pretty good, and the property development is pretty good. So that's interesting because a lot of people say, well, I don't know what the market's going to do. I don't know if I should invest in real estate. Well, that's true when I started to buy rental properties. I didn't know. I thought the market had appreciated. I thought it was kind of done. Boy, was I wrong. And I bought primarily for cash flow. I knew I could increase the value of the properties, and I knew that I would pay down the mortgage. I didn't know I would get this massive, crazy 10% growth each and every year for the last 10 years. So while no one can tell you that can happen if you buy with cash flow in mind, but think about where do I actually think I'm going to make a lot of the money. It's through the market appreciation, sorry. While you don't know that's going to happen, you want to put yourself in a situation where you can take advantage of that if it does happen, and it probably will, because we're going to be massively undersupplied in this city for the next 10 years at least. So I hope that's hugely helpful. Happy to share this with you. If you want to grab a coffee, you want to talk about it, I know it's a bit of a complicated thing, and I have some more things that can kind of show you, how to break these things down if that helps. All right. Talk soon.